I just got back from one of the best estate sales I've been to in a really long time, and I want to show you what I found. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea because it might take a while. Let me show you what I found. Before we get started, I wanted to introduce myself. If you're new here, my name's Elizabeth and I'm with Country Peony. And Country Peony is a craft and DIY blog where I focus on simple crafts, whimsical spaces, and vintage treasures. So speaking of vintage treasures, I've been going to estate sales for a while. I love estate sales. I love them for my quilt jackets. I repurpose quilt jackets and turn them cutter quilts and turn them into quilt jackets. And I also love estate sales because I love finding pieces where I can style here in the studio for magazine shoots, for my blog, and just for fun. Why not? And honestly, it's so much fun just to see what people have collected their entire lifetime. And so whenever I go to an estate sale or I'm looking for one, my first place to go to is estatesales.net. So it's a fabulous app and it's also a wonderful website where you put in your zip code and you put in a radius and it showcases estate sales in your area. It's a really great resource if you've never heard of it before. So let's get started. My very first find, and one of the reasons I love this estate sale is because I knew she was a crafter. The owner was a crafter, and so I feel like crafters, we kind of have the same vibe, and we definitely did. There was a lot of vintage there, which I love so much, and the price points were fabulous. So speaking of vintage, I found these adorable jack-o'-lantern garlands. Here's a ghost one, and then here's another jack-o'-lantern. And so these were about $3 a piece, and I actually have a set of these already, and so what I do with them is I keep them for styling for Halloween, obviously, but they're just really fun to add to my vintage collection, which I have a vintage holiday collection. I've got a really sweet little cabinet where I place all of my finds in. And I will start to collect all of my vintage finds back there. So if you see a pile going up, you know why. Okay, the next thing I wanted to showcase was these adorable barbecue vinyl tablecloths. So these are really fun because they were screaming summer to me, and maybe I'm just so excited for summer. But honestly, I was inspired by the color palette. I was inspired by the graphics. I do a lot of styling for my blog posts, for video content, for brands. And also, you can just use this if you don't have a craft blog, obviously, for your picnic table. So I got 2 of these. These were about $1. I thought that was a fabulous price point. Okay, for the next one, this had my heart. Did I need this? No, but these are crocheted. I need to look these up because I don't know the proper term for them, but they look like a yo-yo, a fabric yo-yo. And they're amazing. I don't know how many are in here. And this was quite a bit of a splurge. I paid $33 for this, but as a maker myself, when I see so much work put into something, it kind of breaks your heart if nobody buys it. And so I bought this. I feel like this could be an incredible quilt. So I would love to piece these together to make it a quilt or an Afghan. I just think it's really fun. I saw so much potential in this. And this alone would take hours and hours and hours to make. So anyway, I was really inspired by it, so I grabbed it. So we've got more vintage holiday. This was just a couple of bucks, but this is like a vintage Easter. And at first you're like, what are you gonna do with that? So let me open it up and show you, because there's a lot of really cute pieces in here. I'm always looking for bigger die cuts like this because honestly they can get really pricey, but I've got a beautiful holiday tree here in the studio that I like to decorate with. And these are amazing because they create really high impact. I can just kind of stick these in the tree, but also how cute would this be as a really large garland for Easter? I just see so much potential in these, and honestly, they just make me really, really happy, which I think is what it's all about. The homeowner had some incredible vintage Christmas, and if you go thrifting or you're into that, you know that it's really sought after. And so the price points, whenever I go to Round Top or other places, it's pretty expensive. And so I found these glass ornament balls, which I thought were beautiful. And so they were not that expensive, and so I jumped on them, I grabbed them. Are they vintage? I do think they're vintage, but I don't know how old they are. I do know because of just the tags on here. It is vintage, so it's at least 20 years old, but I don't know how old they are, so I could do a little bit of research just to see. But again, I love the pink and red combo. I do that all the time for Christmas, so I think it just would be beautiful, added to a wreath or to my Christmas tree, or even in just a beautiful white bowl filled with these with baubles. Going along with the Christmas theme, so I picked up these adorable vintage Santas. I'm always on the lookout for these because for Christmas time, I always make these vintage ornament wreaths. And these are incredible because they're beautiful filler pieces. They take up a lot of space and they tell such a fun story. So I love these. People also put these in cute little vignettes. You can put it on a table. You can put it in also a glass with other baubles, but I just thought they were really sweet. And the price point was good, so I jumped on them. I got some more vintage ornaments. And so what I'll do is I collect all of these, I put them in a fun little bag, and I set them aside, and then I do use them again in my wreaths. And this one, I kind of went, it was kind of a gamble because I didn't really know what was in here. And so, but I knew the price point was good and they would have some really cute things, like these adorable nativity scenes that would be so cute on a wreath. And then these Puts houses, which alone are so stinking cute. And then, I mean, this was a gamble, the frog, but you know, I mean, the deer, he's really cute. And yeah, so I'm really happy with those. Again, I'm gonna add them to a really fun wreath, but you can put them out as part of a really cute little vignette for Christmas. Okay, and if you've been following my thrifting adventures, a couple of weeks ago, I went to an estate sale and I found this adorable strawberry jar. Well, I broke it as I was opening it, and I shared that process with you. And so I feel like this is a fun resurrection piece. There's another adorable strawberry jar. Here's the top of it. And then the really cute little base. And so this is just so cute. This would be so sweet sitting on your kitchen, in your kitchen. But I love it because strawberries are having a really big moment. Retailers like Anthropologie, Home Goods, World Market are really embracing the strawberry trend. So I think it's really fun when you find it vintage. And so I'm starting to collect my own little assortment here at the studio, and I've been really enjoying it. Going on this vintage Christmas trend, I spotted these adorable Santa salt and pepper shakers. Vintage Santa is so popular. It's really expensive whenever I find it out in the wild, and this price point was fabulous. These would be so cute styled on a Christmas table, and whether or not you actually use them as a salt and pepper shaker or just part of your tablescape, they add so much charm, and I'm just really excited about them because I just think they're so cute. So I'm gonna place them in my vintage holiday cabinet in the meantime, but come Christmas time, I'm gonna enjoy them. Okay, and this was the find of the day. I have never run to something so fast as I did this. Actually, someone was looking at it, and I was just praying that they didn't pick them up. And then she looked at me and said, I already have this one. And I was so excited. So this is the vintage Holt Santa Weeking collection. It's pristine condition. And we've got the mug, which this is really hard to find a complete set. We've got the mug, and we got these adorable Santas. We've got the pitcher, and then we've got these adorable Santa mugs, and they're winking. Look how cute they are. They all are hand painted. They're just so beautiful. This is seriously such a find. I got a really good deal on these. These were made in Japan, and these are definitely a collector's item. And so I collect Santa mugs, but these are probably the most rare that I've ever found. And so I am so over the moon about this. I'm so excited. I was one of the first ones in line, so it does pay to go early. Otherwise, I would not have been able to grab this. So I'm always looking for Santa mugs out in the wild, and I'm just so excited. So thank you so much for following along. I'd love to know what you think about my finds, which one was your favorite, and if you like these estate sale hauls. They're so much fun. I love going to estate sales, and I love also seeing what other people find and what the purpose is for them. If you liked today's video, I would love it if you subscribed and liked this video. I have more estate sale hauls I can link below in the description if you want to check them out. I've also got a playlist if you want to check that out as well. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.